Hi guys, stay tuned to see how I make a healthier version of this breakfast favorites. Alright guys, we're going to make oatmeal pancakes, and not just oatmeal flavor. We have substituted the flour for rolled oat flour. This is just rolled oats, the same oats that I would use to make oatmeal, and what I've done is put them in a blender. You can use your food processor. The blender is just easier, it's less to wash. And I turn it on until it's like flour. It doesn't get nearly as fine, but it works out. Yeah, so I have a cup and a quarter of rolled oats, and then I have my chemical leaveners. It's just baking soda and baking powder. It's a lot. It's half a teaspoon of baking soda and 4 teaspoons of baking powder. I actually have a pancake recipe that I use as a go-to, and what I did was I doubled the leavener so that I get more lift. The oatmeal flour is not as finely ground, and oat flour is just a little bit heavier than the AP flour. So the leaveners help make fluffy pancakes. Here I have my flavoring: cinnamon, salt, and pepper, a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of salt, and a tablespoon of sugar. And then milk, a cup, 1 egg, you can't see it, but it's in there, 2 tablespoons of oil. You can use any oil that you like. It doesn't have to be oil with a high heat temperature that it can cook at. It's not necessary. I have vegetable oil. I've used butter before. You can use coconut oil. Be mindful of the oil that you use though, because coconut oil has a flavor, and so it imparts some sort of flavor to your pancakes. If you don't mind your pancakes tasting a little bit like coconut, then that's fine. I didn't want that today, so I didn't. I also have a tablespoon of, yeah, I'm making pancakes. A tablespoon of vinegar in the milk, and I would add that at the last minute because it will curdle the milk, but it helps the baking soda to actually leaven. Baking powder can leaven with any type of liquid. Baking soda, not so much. It needs some sort of acid. You can also use buttermilk, but buttermilk is higher in fat. I use whole milk. You can use almond milk. You can use 2%, 1%. I wouldn't use skim. I think that might mess up the recipe a little bit. You can try it and see, but I wouldn't do it. I'm going to mix this together, and then I'll let the batter sit for 30 minutes. Oat flour is not as finely ground, and it's heavier, so you won't have the instant thickening that you do with regular all-purpose or self-rising flour. So you kind of have to let it sit so you can see how thick the batter will be if you need to add any other type of whole wheat or other flour to it, or if you need to add any more oatmeal flour and let it set again. I'll do that and let you see what it looks like when we come back, and I'll make some pancakes. Okay, so the batter has set for probably about 45 minutes. I forgot it was in here. Always forgetting stuff. This is the consistency that it is after sitting, which is 100 times thicker than what it is when you first mix it. Macy's excited. She's eating her lunch in there. I know just from my vast experience making pancakes, that was total sarcasm, that is not going to be thick enough. So what I'm going to do is just sprinkle in some whole wheat flour until it's the consistency that I want. Here's a teaspoon, and I'm going to stir it up until it gets to what I think it needs to be. Sorry about the shaking. But yeah, and then I will bake these up and show you exactly how I make those fluffy pancakes that everybody loves in just a minute. Okay, so here are my tips for making awesome fluffy pancakes. 1, use a well-seasoned oil pan. I use a teaspoon of oil. I wiped it out with a paper towel, and every now and then, every 2 or 3 pancakes, I'll add a little more oil to it with the paper towel that I wiped it out with. I won't pour anymore. We're going to cook it low and slow. That's like medium low. And as I cook, because I'm using cast iron, the pan will heat up, so I'll actually turn it down some more. I'm going to use a cup measure, and I'm going to pour slowly and very low to the pan. And I'm also going to kind of smooth out the middle so it's not as high as the edges, and flatten it out just a little bit. And then I'm just going to leave it alone until it sets. You see, because we have a lot of leavener in our batter, it bubbles up immediately. You want to wait until those bubbles start making set holes. That's the lattice work that's going to give you a fluffy pancake. So you see the bubbles pop, and then the batter closes right back up. But when the batter starts to stay open, like on the edges, that's how you know it's set. So I'm going to wait a second before I flip it. Bear with me now. And we're waiting. And we're waiting. It's already set on the edges, but you want it to set a little bit more towards the center. And you just have to wait. It doesn't take long, but it does take a second. So we're just going to wait. And wait for my camera to focus too. Are we almost there yet? Are we there yet? Silence. And you can, I don't know if you can tell this, but I'm gonna it's a high pancake. Do you see that? And that letting it set creates that highness and that fluffiness that we want. And I think it has set enough towards the middle that we can flip. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it. I'm going to flip it low. And I'm only going to flip it once. See how pretty that is? That's a pretty pancake. And you'll know it's done when you touch down on the center that has risen because we have so much leavener. And it springs immediately back up. That didn't. It kind of left a dent. Okay, so we have 9 fluffy, delicious pancakes. This makes 9 1/4 cup. You can make this at breakfast time, like I do on Sunday morning, or sometimes I just make them as make-ahead breakfasts. I put 2 in a Ziploc bag and freeze it. 30 seconds in the microwave, and you have 2 warm, fluffy pancakes. They're absolutely delicious. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and try these out. They're really good, and they'll put you in the mind of those pancakes your mama used to make. Stay blessed and stay tuned.